the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
Yo! Welcome back to the Hishaku Hideout, a weekly podcast where we talk about the latest chapter and everything Kagurabachi. I'm here with Dice.
Yo.
And as a special guest, we got the silly goose, OG Daffy. What's up, bro?
Yo!
What's happening? Walk one.
All
Good to
right.
have
What you saying?
Nah, man, we good. Got Daffy in the house. Daffy, tell the people where they can find you and all that.
So you can find me on YouTube at The Real OG Daffy. We no longer make anime and manga content. We just do Riz Tip Thursdays and 20v1s with anime only. It's gonna be great, fantastic. Love it.
That's
love
what's
it.
up.
Love me some harems. So Uzaki-chan wants to hang out. Peak Fiction. Solos,
Yeah,
One Piece.
them things hanging out, boy.
Yes, sir. Them things is
Thang
thangin'. We
banging.
here.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
Them things banging. Yeah, 20v1 Tiberius and 20 anime waifu grandmas. Let's go.
I'll take 5 turbo grannies, please.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
go.
no, wait, I'm talking to grandma, not turbo granny. Hold on.
No, you got turbo granny, fam.
I got turbo. That's me.
I'm in the grandma. I'm in grandma. My fault.
No. You late for that.
Hey, fam. Look, we got you. We gonna hit the Golden
no.
Girls up after this. We got you.
Golden Girl.
The Golden Girls with the Sonic shoes.
Hey, look.
Turbo Granny. That's
Look.
like a Lil Wayne lyric.
Golden Girls.
Those with the Sonic
with
shoes
the soap
called,
shoes.
called Turbo Granny.
Oh my God.
Jay's on
Stop
feet.
it.
But now Jay walking.
Bro, hit
All
the
right.
record button to start wilding out. My bad, chat.
Yeah, we was like quiet and like we were like very quiet and like civil, having intelligent, conversations with each other, and talking on like important matters. As soon as we hit record, we're talking about why ain't grandma waifus.
Bro, because you
Daffy
gotta be
wants
entertaining.
Turbo
You gotta be
Granny.
entertaining for the people, bro.
I know. All right, let's get into chapter 102. What you need to see. I mean, so let's start with Daffy. Daffy, would you, the opening of the chapter, we see like Samura, in my opinion, he lost a bit of aura now that he ain't disabled.
Crazy.
Bro, if you said that about anybody else, they would fry you, bro. Oh my God.
Yo, hey, I'll get really fried. I told Dice 2 episodes in a row. What's your boy Ikato and Azami could have fused, and that way they had 2 arms and 2 legs, the ultimate fighter.
Oh my God.
I've been dealing with this, Daffy.
Look, listen. No, so I'm actually fresh off the heels of this chapter. I actually just finished reading it. I like this chapter. I think that it's nothing too crazy. I think obviously we know how the structure of these battles go, right? It's a little bit of a slower start, but then when we start to actually get going, that's obviously where all the meat and potatoes are, right? We have the smaller appetizers, but larger entrees, if that makes sense, as far as generally the fights in Kagurabachi go.
Agreed.
Now, there's a couple interesting things in this chapter that I wanted to briefly discuss. One of the big things is Samura actually still kept his heightened senses, because I feel like in other stories, you would have Samura gaining his sight back, and then he would just be nerfed. But no, that's not actually a thing. His eyesight actually is better as well.
This motherfucker got his senses. He made himself blind, by the way. So fake blind man. He amped himself by making himself blind, right? And then he heals his blindness, and then they're going to amp the one sense that he never used. I was like, okay, Hokuzono, like he's sipping the tip of Samura now.
Yeah, bro.
You know what
I'll tell
is-
you, Samura only blind himself so you get that parking spot, bro.
That's it. That's
telling
it.
you.
Braille, no problem. I
That's
got
what I'm
baddies
saying,
reading
bro.
me Braille.
He said, I gotta get to Publix 36 faster than everybody else.
Samura is a great character though, but my bad, Dice. What were you saying?
No, I just wanted to mention that it's so weird because it seems that he only amped up his like sight ability to make it a liability. Because remember, the whole area is evacuated, so there aren't really any bystanders, and it feels like Hokuzono just thought like, okay, so then how could I make his sight a liability,
See
right?
farther.
And so, yeah, literally see farther. And like it might come into play again because we know that Yori should be around there somewhere. So this could be just kind of planting the seeds for that, because I don't expect, I mean, maybe, right? Maybe we'll see a little bit of like some perks of this new sight of his, but it seems like that was just done to make it a weakness ultimately.
Yeah.
Samura does say on page 5 that the area hasn't been fully evacuated yet.
Okay,
yeah,
not
they're
fully.
like 3 was like
It was
I don't know
300.
if they-
It was 300 meters away.
so it's like a football field away,
Yes.
roughly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, we're Americans. We know like
Stop it.
conversions and stuff. We know meters. What the fuck's a meter? I'm just playing. No, but like
Meter, I hardly know her.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting put that meat on her. So Samura, like off the rip, it seems like Yura is like saying, all right, the Sword Saint is not, in my head, he's fully released like any kind of like that compulsion or getting compelled by him. So he's like of his own, sound mind. Cool. And it's more so like the Sword Master doesn't trust him, rightfully so. And we talked a bit about this a minute ago before we started recording, but Yura wanted to kill the Sword Saint, bet. Now he gets to the Sword Saint, he's like, he's a chill guy. Now he's saying, I don't want to kill him. Maybe this is Cope as the Hishaku Hideout, but I'm hoping he's just kind of finessing, because he has to get rid of these 2 fighters eventually anyway. So it's just like, it's just house cleaning for him. And, he's using that to try and finesse to the Sword Saint, like, you can trust me. And then he backstabs the Sword Saint. But, Dice, I want to bring up, you mentioned something about Yori being close. I am wondering what they did with Yori, Ikura, the MVP of the hotel, because those are like, and what they do with the Kumiyuri. And most likely, since Shiba's there, they probably brought all of that, the sword, the kids, and the Masumi to Hiyuki's spot, and just let Hiyuki guard the 2 sword bearers, the sword. What y'all think of that?
I would assume most likely that Ro, Sumi, and Miku. Yeah, I'm assuming they took all of that away. I'm very curious to see if they're gonna pop up near the end of this fight or not. When was the last time we saw them? That was
when they were glazing Ikura for being the MVP of the hotel.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of standards do you guys have? Like, come on.
Yeah.
They, don't get me started. I done cooked the Masumi enough times on this. I fuck with Sumi though. She's top 1.
I think they're on standby. That's just what I think. I think, like Daffy said, they're probably holding on to the kids, and if Kumiyuri isn't with Hiyuki, they're probably holding on to it, and they're probably on standby. It's, where they're gonna have to lend a hand or not. Good question.
Yeah, it wouldn't really make sense for them to intervene with this. They're more. Let's see. As far as
they're
like straightforward
logistical.
battles,
They're
yes.
logistical.
Yes, straightforward battles not necessarily their thing, right? They're more like, Anbu, Black Ops. I mean, obviously like in Shadows, whatever like that. When it comes to large scale battles like this and like high speed battles, that's not necessarily their thing. They handle more so like extractions and private escorts, things of that nature, more like bodyguard work as opposed to fighting these large scale threats.
And
Agreed.
we do see a big part of the story. It's like the fighting force is like 90%, the like, I don't want to say 90%, but it's a lot of like sword fights, you know what I mean? And like Azami doesn't use a sword. Shiba's just a delivery service at this point. But like the people who like specialize in sorcery, because Azami's like a physical assault fighter. But we do know he has his own like sorcery he goes ham with. But like think about Kazin, I forget her name, the top 3 chick in the Kabunabi. Like
Yatsuru?
they get glazed. Yeah, Yatsuru. They get glazed for being like the top dogs of sorcery aside from Shiba. And so it's like the Masumi kind of falls in that like scholar portion of sorcery more so than like combat sorcery.
Hey man, look, all I'm saying is that the stronger Chihiro gets, that's just a bigger Hiyuki upscale, bro.
Yeah.
They said that she has the power of on par with an enchanted blade. The stronger he gets, I'm saying it's comparable to Hiyuki. That's all I'm saying. That's all. That's all
I
I'm
like
saying.
that
so
agenda.
We
Yes.
cool over here.
Yes.
I'm Huyuki's Pookie, so we all good.
Real.
The big thing I do like in the beginning, before we like move forward with like the fight and all that, I love the fact that Yura is just straight up. telling them like, y'all are hypocrites. Y'all don't have to believe the shit I'm saying, but that motherfucker down there, he was about it. Like, he
He's
meant
alright.
that shit. Yeah, he meant that shit. He's cooking. Yura said that, not me.
I want to know what happened and why Yura thinks that this chaotic world needs order,
Yeah.
right?
Like, chill out, bro. Your girlfriend
Well, it's not
dumped
that.
you.
Because that motivation is, I would say, fairly generic as far as some villains go.
I
But
said
I
that
think
too.
where the real intrigue is why do you think that? Because if we don't understand why Yuta wants this, I think it's a very big missed opportunity, right? Because you introduce seemingly the main villain of the series in chapter 32, right? In chapter 32, 33, you seemingly introduce the main villain. So if he dies here, which I don't think he will, if he dies without us getting to know anything else, that's like killing Orochimaru at the end of the tuning exams, like the Sasuke retrieval arc. That would suck ass, right? Like,
Yeah.
we just don't have as much context. Or I guess if you killed Orochimaru at the end of the Tsunade retrieval arc. But
I get what you're
I'm
saying.
very curious to see why he thinks that.
For
right?
sure.
That's my biggest thing, as well as what happened on Shikoku Island for Soga to think that it was necessary to kill all of these people. Like, did they pose a threat passively? And what we were talking about before we started recording is that obviously there is a lot of revisionist stuff going on with what happened to Shikoku Island, because seemingly you have these people just wash up on shore and instantly they're a threat and they need to be dealt with and everything is hostile. Well, no, that doesn't make sense.
That's movie logic,
Well, yeah, it's like, okay, well, clearly we're missing something. Clearly there's some context that we as viewers do not have, and Japan is relatively known for not being straightforward with, their own history. So I'm very curious to see what happened there. You have the reveal that last chapter that Soga is the brother-in-law, so he was married to, that Kushige was married to his sister. So obviously, Sorsei being his uncle, one of the main antagonists being the uncle of the protagonist is weird. It's happened twice the past calendar year, but I'll take it.
Hey, people.
But having that and having the theory that because Sojo has those tattoos that look very similar to Centipede, as well as seeing the flashback in around chapter 4 or 5 where that sorcerer touched his head and he saw the flowers and all that he would directly be related to Chihiro, most likely like his far off cousin. I think it's interesting. I just want to see how far that family tree goes.
Sojo a fan. He just got those tattoos on him to make him look like he saw that boy. He's like he's inspired.
Give me that Sojo Bathhouse Part 3, bro.
Give me that Mike Tyson face tat. Like that's that's the type of.
Oh my god.
that's the kind of like inspiration of a killer. Nice, but you did bring up a good point too. I think this is before Daffy hopped in the call. Kind of hearkening on what Daffy was saying about it being generic, him wanting to rule the world or bring it into order. It's a very straightforward, easy, kind of it's on the board of obvious, easy, no homework kind of writing devices.
Yeah,
Let
so
you touch on that a bit.
I feel like we're getting some good Yura crumbs this chapter because there's that, right? Originally, the way Kazan had presented himself, it was all about Japan, bringing order to Japan as this country with absolute power. And the way Yura's talking now, he's not saying Japan, he's saying the world. And the reason I bring this up is because I think it directly ties with a panel that we then see when he's getting stabbed by both TOBIMUNE and ENTEN that seems to be Yura witnessing destruction potentially on Shikoku. And so originally I was of the mind that okay, no, this is all about bringing order to Japan the way Yura has talked about Japan. He's used words like we, us, and so and now that he's not necessarily talking about Japan, and this appears to be Shikoku, I'm thinking, well, like, yeah, this guy, like you said, he's an old school villain, literally just wants to rule the world, and I'm sure we'll get, more there. But then I kept looking at that panel, and it does look a lot like the Malediction, or at least what we've seen from it, but there's no butterflies, there's no plant life. And so then I had to take like a couple of steps back again, and I'm just ultimately this to say that it's 50-50 whether he's from Shikoku or not. And I do think this is very intentional from Hokuzono's part, because we know that the Magatsumi, before it went crazy, before Soga went crazy in Shikoku, it turned the tide of the war in Japan. So though the imagery looks a lot kind of like the destruction we see in Shikoku, this could very well be Yura just witnessing, the damage in Japan. I just wanted to bring that up because I think, again, Hokuzono just knows how to keep us guessing.
So this to touch on kind of like both of y'all's what y'all had to say for like Soga, like getting more on him, it could be very well that maybe Soga and Yura kind of had to go through the same ordeal. Maybe their like wife got killed during the invasion of Shikoku, so they just see them like it's just they have a bias against them now because they lost a person that they loved. And what we could see is Yura's like resolve of like maybe the destruction, like Dice said, is in Japan, and that panel of him, and that's like a memory of him, like the moment that he realizes we need like an ultimate weapon. This
Yep.
shouldn't have happened. And that's that fade to black is just him realizing like Centipede, Magasumi is the answer. Because that could be very well like those are directly like easy and logical, in my opinion, like story decisions to say they both lost their loved one in the first invasion of the Shikoku natives, and that's why they have such a hatred. Or that Soga went direct. Soga was like, I got the nuke already on me, I'll just go handle it. Yura didn't have the power, so now Yura spent his time to devise this plan in order for him to get this power, or at least make it accessible to where it will never happen again. Like maybe he does ride with Soga, but I don't know. That was just kind of on my mind when I heard both of y'all's statements.
So, out of curiosity, where do you think Yuta falls in the Seitei War flashback that we'll get?
That's a good question. Dice.
I guess right now, kind of taking a stab in the dark with all I mentioned, right? I think if I had to say right now, I think Yura is Japanese, and something along the lines of what Tiberius just said. I think he witnessed the level of destruction, something, literally what Tiberius just said, like he probably thought this shouldn't be happening. We need, certain countermeasures or whatever, and he went on his quest. That's what I think right now.
I'm wondering, so we know they repelled Shikoku. So Yura, I think it's within reason to say Yura is, he fought for Japan. He probably wasn't like, maybe he isn't all that impressive in terms of like what they were dealing with, you know what I mean? Maybe he got stronger over the years, of course, but just being like a normal soldier during the wartime, because that was 18 years ago. So it's like a long time for him to develop or, make these plans to get what he needs. And so I'm thinking we might see him just as a soldier. Maybe he comes to his hometown, sees his wife dead or something. I want to see though, when they do repel Shikoku and they go to, when does that treaty play into? Like, did the normal soldiers also go to the island, or did they just send the Enchanted Blades to the island?
I hope that it's a bit more than that, right? When Hokuzono actually takes the time to do the character work, I think it's very well off, right? In the grand scheme of things. So, and I'm making another allegory towards Samura. When it comes to Samura's character arc, I think that he had one of the most well-rounded backstories, motivations. His arc actually was took time. I think that them killing Yuta's like wife and children, I feel like that's been done before. I want to see something else. I want to see something a little more unconventional than that. I would get it. It would make sense. But I feel like there's something else at play here, right?
That's fair.
So, I don't know, maybe Yuta's just like, maybe Yuta's on the side of Shikoku Island. He actually wants, Japan to fall as well. I think the Hishaku said something about Japan. But maybe Yuta sees Japan as just as guilty. Possibly. We'll see.
Yeah, because he could be looking... My bad.
Oh, no, you're good. He feels that it all needs to be ruled through fear or something. Fear of doing wrong so that you can, protect people ultimately or something to that nature.
Basically, it's like Nagato's plan for the Akatsuki, basically being like the supreme power. It's like one centralized supreme power. And, to your point, maybe Yura doesn't fuck with like Japan to that level, or like he just sees Japan as part of the problem. Like he also has issues with how they handle. So he sees the world as like unbiasedly like it's just one big problem in the world, and he can bring it underway with the Magatsumi because he feels like his perspective and mindset is the right way. So he's just going about what he thinks is the right way, and maybe it's saving the Sword Saint and letting him wield the Magatsumi, but it just feels weird for like the Hishaku leader to then become number 2 of his own volition. Like, so I do hope it's something more. Honestly, I don't know where it really plays out because Yura has taken serious damage, like Dice said, with Chihiro stabbing him through the back and Samura cutting him, slashing through his shoulder.
I was gonna say they almost met. I'm looking at that panel. They almost completely bisected him. Actually,
yeah, they were fucking him up. They fucking him.
I wouldn't put it past the supposed strongest of the enchanted blades to have some sort of regeneration ability. I wouldn't be surprised entirely.
You're still super impressive because even after that we saw he sent tremors of a street, just really decimated the street 300 meters away.
Meters, yep.
Yeah. So not that that's a super power scalar feat for you boys out there. Y'all can start sweating over that statement. But he also blocked an AI purity style from Chihiro, who is just healed, from behind, point blank. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. That's a crazy feat though.
Yeah.
I'm willing to see what happens to Yura
go
with the damage. Oh no, you're good. I'll just say with the damage, what's the aftermath look like?
I'm very curious. The Hishaku have some sort of healing ability at their own facility or whatever. Well, especially with what happened to Hirohiko's arms. But I'm very curious to see what. Yeah. I'm curious to see what happened with Yuta's original sorcery and what his original powers were, because does he just know a lot about simple sorcery, scrolls, summoning, things like that? Because we haven't seen it. No, I'm sorry, we have seen it. He implied a duel or something
the
or
death
other.
Match you talking about?
Not the death match. The deal he had with Samura.
You think that's his sorcery? The Pinky
Promise deal. I'm pretty sure that was his sorcery. I almost guarantee you that was his sorcery, and it was almost like a allegory to Satan, right? Making a deal with him, especially just how his character design looks anyway.
Yeah.
I think it was something. I think it was very similar to a binding vow. I gotta find that chapter.
Yeah, it's right after Samura betrays everybody. He flies after he kills Chihiro. He flies off with his pigeons, and they talk.
Yes.
I do think his sorcery hasn't been shown yet. I personally think that Kiora is not just an example for being able to wield the Magatsumi's powers to some extent, by proxy. It's the fact that he was doing that while in the storehouse and controlling the storehouse. So he was using his innate sorcery while wielding the Magatsumi. And so I think that's something that, it's so obvious because we witness it, it's clear as day it's happening. But over time you forget, using your innate sorcery while also throwing out centipedes and shit, you just need to have the bear, like a good like Daruma with the Magatsumi would go crazy. You know?
Yes.
Well, anybody would, but like just saying that extra explosive like shit that he had just to add to the Magatsumi. So I think like maybe you're saving, you know, one, and that's how Samura dies. Maybe Yura's sorcery gets him that kills Samura.
Yeah, actually, I actually just found that panel I was talking about. It's on chapter 59 on page 15. Yoda's talking about how Samura was a trump card, they want to keep her reserve, yada yada yada. And on his pinky, on his right hand, he has that. It looks like very similar to like a large like band. It's on his and Samura's as well. So I think their lives were bonded.
Yeah,
and if either of them broke it, they would have both died. Is what I'm assuming would have happened.
It's weird because Hirohiko and then like Samura already started fighting the Hishaku already before, you know, because he went up to the hotel and started throwing hands with Toto and like Hirohiko ASAP. So if that like if he couldn't fight the Hishaku until he did his part, then he would have got repercussions right then and there for attacking them. But or maybe unless he has to kill them to get the repercussions. I don't know. I think like Samura mentioned something at the end of the hotel arc when he opens his eyes and he says basically like it's a wash. I think that's maybe Hokuzo just saying a deal won't be a thing anymore. Like it just dissolved. Like because I don't know. I know a lot of people do expect the pinky ring promise to come through, and it might. That is what you think about that.
My thoughts on that, I was a couple of chapters back, we had Shiny on, and I think he laid it out perfectly. He said that promise was conditional. Samura had to meet his end of the deal first, which was killing the sword bearers. And then Yura would meet his end of the deal, which was like revealing the identities of the Hishaku members, revealing who the traitor was, and one thing else. Samura didn't meet his end of the deal. He broke that already by not doing it. So Yura essentially said the deal's off, or something along those lines.
Yura doesn't want to kill the Sword Saint either. My bad, but Yura doesn't even want to kill the Sword Saint no more as well. And that was a part of the agreement.
But I don't see how that would affect the agreement, though. We don't. Again,
well, he doesn't want him to fulfill the agreement anymore.
Exactly.
Like I say now,
so
at this
why
point,
is it relevant? I don't know. Man. I don't think it's gonna be.
People have stocks on it.
Yeah, it could be. I just personally don't think so.
Yeah. But then we do see Shiba pop up in this chapter. And by the way, I'll give him his credit. He did his thing. He played an important role. But I do not want to see people glaze this man for this.
I do think that Shiba had one of the best lines in this chapter. He says,
Agreed.
"Those eyes of yours are a liability. Focus on what you need to see."
He's whispering that shit a football field away.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm just playing. Let me stop with the Shiba.
Nah, bro. Shiba's a telepath, bro. That's part of his sword.
Yeah,
it was a big reveal, bro. You missed it, bro. No, but I really like that because throughout this in Samura's entire arc, it's always been on focusing on Samura's blinding himself. He's shielding himself from what he needs to see. So here he's terrified. He's scared of what's going to happen to these civilians, and he wants to actually be the change. And so my girlfriend's dog is going crazy, but him actually wanting to like, oh my god, like these people actually need help. Like we should see his true character here, because I remember when the betrayal originally happened, like no one really saw it coming, and even like Chihiro, it didn't register. Hirohiko had to say it twice, and this definitely felt like a nod to Spider-Man 2 when Doc Ock is throwing that fucking big ass taxi in that cafe. The angle is like the same, I swear to God. But,
yeah, W reference for real. Yep.
Yeah, but no, I love this line from Shiba here.
Yeah,
and the artwork in this chapter was fantastic as well. Chihiro has some amazing shots.
Yeah, I love that like very like heavy line work that he does.
Yeah, it's where the narrator says the man before him is wrecked flesh and bone by the same shockwaves, yet his bloodthirsty gaze never wavers from his foe. That panel's fire. That panel's so good.
Yeah, that shit is fine. Just like when you scroll through the page of when you see like Samura glance over, you know, there's all these like narration squares, and there's like these small panels. It's like very quick because all these moments are meant to hit quick. It's like boom, 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 boom. You know, it's like really fast paced, like high tense. So Hokuzono like really gets the tone of the chapter across very nicely. Then, you know, like with Shiba and he says focus. I thought the focus part was just gas. And then like the teleportation, the paneling of that is so fire how it just like you get, you know, teleports again. So it's like Hokuzono has like a knack for this demographic and the medium. He just like is very adaptable with that. Like he knows what's like people want to see, what's like in. And from there, I mean, Shiba does his part. You know, like I said, he is like he has some of the most like loyal riders, boy. 102 chapters, and this is like this is all you get. Like, shout out to you, the Shiba suckers, boy. Y'all shout out to y'all. Y'all devoted.
Hey man, he's about to put Soya on the shirt. I don't really want to hear it.
Tenry was about to put him on the. Tenry might have put that boy. Let me stop. I'm just playing.
Oh my god,
bro, that's like the.
Yo, we get Shanks level. We giving Shanks and Mihawk level harassment to this man. Oh my god,
motherfucker. But man, Chihiro really does have like the strongest resolve, bro. Like they're saying like Samura like, you know, averted his eyes from like the fight because he's like the, you know, PTSD of like the malediction's destruction, knowing that there's people that far away. And then he's like, fuck Hokuzono, why'd you let me see farther away? Just I can feel this pain even more.
Yeah, that's crazy that he kept his physical boost to his senses. We were talking about that before the recording, but it's like he's actually still buffed. Actually,
you're
even
gonna
more
feel
because
this.
he got his sight. Yeah,
you're gonna feel this. Like I used to say earlier, it's like he buffed him just to like hurt him. He buffed him to make him pay. But Chihiro's like standing there, bro, going through, not moving a step, not taking his eyes. Like Chihiro's saying, "Yo, they might be people down the street. Fuck them. I got my father's killer is right in front of me."
No, I think he actually trusts those around him to. Jesus Christ, two of my fans on my PC stopped working. Ooh, I gotta fix that. But I think that he trusts those around him to keep everybody safe, and he's to actually be able to focus. I wouldn't be surprised if the Masumi were also helping out in the background as well. It would not surprise me in the slightest.
Sumi just got to be in a panel off to the side. Just give me one Sumi panel. That's all. She just needs to stand there, and she's like A grade. A grade.
I'll take like, three. I'll take 3 Hiyuki panels before that. Thank you.
You got Turbo Granny, bro. We know about you.
That was a mystery. My fault, chat.
I know Daffy got the ducks in here. You know, the mighty ducks are in it watching this. So y'all remember to bust his balls. Y'all remember to bust his balls about Turbo Granny.
Out of curiosity, when the anime adaptation hits, do y'all think that it will be in the art style of the newer style with like more like the angled faces, or do you think it'll be a little more rounder like the first part of the manga?
I think it'll be
or something totally different.
Nah, I think it'll be more true to like the like what we're seeing now for the designs and stuff. Just so they could keep it like a consistent, you know, like if they ever have to go like flashbacks, it won't be too like what's the word I'm looking for? Too much of a difference, a stark difference. But I mean, either way, I don't know. I don't
think it'll be like JJK's season 1 and like season 2 level of difference.
I can see what it did.
Yeah. This is completely unrelated. I saw the most moronic shit the other day on my timeline. Someone was saying that we need a JJK season 1 remake, and
Stop it,
bro. They were dead ass. They were dead ass.
Hey, if it brings me more Nagi Yoshino, I'm down. Cook,
bro. Like JJK is one of the best adaptations of a battle manga.
It's the preferred source material, to be honest. Like, let's just be real about it. It expands
for some people
on
it
things.
Is.
You know, and I love JJK is my favorite manga. It just, you know, I can't read, but I love looking at the pictures.
But, yeah, bro, but like, bro, people are dead ass serious. I'm like, bro, Tokyo Ghoul Band's been on Suicide Watch for over a decade.
For real.
Like, what?
Give me a Claymore remake.
Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. I do. Before, I'm sorry, Ty, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just about to ask you though. What do you make of like I think Daffy had a good point about Chihiro trusts his team, you know, because he even brings up that like he told Samura before they went there, I'm gonna need you to heal the injuries I'm gonna incur. So he, like, to Daffy's point, he just trusts that whatever's happening can be undone, or you know, he has people that can like handle that. So all he needs to do is prove to Samura, like he said he would, is break the Magatsumi. So he's like resolved to do that, but he doesn't use Akasuzaku. He waits for Samura to heal him, Dice. Do you think that's because he can't use Akasuzaku anymore? Or you think he's just withholding that for like an emergency moment if they get separated, or, you know, Samura finally gets capped?
Yeah, I do feel like he's essentially like keeping his for to use it later down the line. Like you said, this is what Samura was brought for. I do think it's funny that he says like, oh, I'm gonna need you for the damages that I'm gonna incur, but he's healing him. So I thought that was a bit funny. But regarding everything else, it's exactly what I wanted to get into, because I can see, especially with Samura's eyes, which I'll get into more in a bit, you know, now being a liability, I can see the Masumi operating like they did alongside Chihiro against Samura, which we only got a little bit of, right? Kind of like in the background, because they are ninjas, like we discussed. And so I could see them, if Samura doesn't lock the fuck in, I can see the Masumi kind of backing both of them up. And I do want to bring up something, and it's the reason why ever since Samura got his eyes back, I've been thinking and I've been vocal about that being what's ultimately gonna get him killed, because we can't forget that what he said when he was introduced was that his eyesight, or it was like your senses, they dull your judgment and blade. And so I think that's very, very well gonna be the, you know, what leads him to his demise. And so I think it's just gonna be that, really. I know that wasn't exactly your question, Tiberius, but I think that's Chihiro's counting on Samura, and unfortunately, I think when it's all said and done, Samura is gonna let him down. I know that sounds kind of rough to say, but
but like just because like it'd be more like the setup, like just what's going on, Samura won't be able to help. And I think like I could see that kind of happening, where Samura has to make a judgment call, and the call he makes is maybe to protect the Yori. Maybe Hishaku brings them to the battlefield somehow, or whatever the case may be.
Even Chihiro, even protecting Chihiro, he might like something he wouldn't maybe have done back then when he was just like a killer and a swordsman during times of war. But even like sacrificing himself to protect the Chihiro, you know, like even that, you know?
Yes, it's just hard to like imagine like how exactly he's gonna die, because they're gonna have to tear him like to pieces, you know?
Yeah.
Like legit. Point. It's like, because the man's a tank, and he's a tank he's not a glass tank either. This motherfucker is a nanotechnology tank. Like he's rebuilding himself and shit.
What do y'all think that ENTEN's true realm is, out of curiosity?
Oh God,
well, I think it's more so like it's basically like, I think what we see is what we kind of get in a sense, but I personally have a theory where Chihiro, Kunishige, when he forged an ENTEN, he implemented some of his spirit energy. So when Chihiro needs him the most to like fully lock in and synchronize with the blade, he's gonna get like a manifestation of Kunishige to him.
A Father-Son Kamehameha type beat?
Yeah, exactly. Like Minato appearing in Naruto, you know, and they're gonna have that talk, and that's basically like Aka in general, excuse me, is gonna maybe be able to absorb the malediction. And then they destroy
the malediction, and it actually breaks.
That's the completed version of ENTEN is absorbing the malediction fully, or some shit.
Oh, maybe I can see that.
You know, that.
Well, you have like the owl, right? Of I forget what is Samura's name.
TOBIMUNE.
TOBIMUNE, thank you. You have Owl, which I would assume when he was younger, it was proportionally smaller. Like it can only see up to a certain radius.
It was a parrot.
Yeah, like parrot basically. But as Samura got older and he actually had more experience with it, it was able to look at a whole country and keep it up for days on end and block out the sun.
Yeah, block
which
out
is
weather.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's nuts. So I would assume that Enten had something similar. We kind of saw a similar application with how Nishiki was used when Chihiro cloaked an entire space, not just himself. We actually flooded it out and blocked all the light in the theater. And so actually he blinded Hirohiko. He couldn't see. That was actually one of my favorite moments too. But Chihiro slowly gaining more and more and more over. I'm curious to see what Akka's evolution will be as well.
Like
I feel
the
like
upper
absorption,
limit
there's a couple
of
things you could do. Maybe.
Like if he could call on 2 abilities at once and fuse them or some shit.
That would be very cool, actually.
You know, like if he's mixing like other enchanted blades, like if he can call
Well,
back.
he kind of did already with he kind of already did with what's his name?
Oh well, if you think about it, he had black lightning. Even though he didn't have an ENTEN, he was still contracted to ENTEN. And when he used the Cloud Gouger against Yura, it was black lightning he had. How fire!
Yes.
That motherfucking Chihiro just got aura out the ass, bro.
Yes. Yes.
And I think a big portion of this, like the page right before the final spread, it's a close up of Chihiro's scar, and the scar's not going nowhere. That's his resolve right there. That's the mark that where it all started. So it's just like heavily like his eye focuses on Yura. He's getting healed by Suzaku, but the mark is still there. It's like, and you see all the panels of like Shiba telling him like what your dad had all this, all these issues and this guilt for creating the swords, and then he just remembers Yura saying the absolute power should be used to rule, and motherfucker Chihiro's like, I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm like, fuck that. This ends right here and now. That boy, Chihiro is so. I'm really impressed by Chihiro.
Yeah, his character development is definitely my favorite out of recent protagonists that I've seen. And it's not that a lot of people think that character progression means that you'll become happy and jovial and goofy and all that. Well, no, not necessarily. Chihiro is still a very reserved individual. He's not like, he doesn't make jokes all the time and things of that nature. But we see that comparing himself from chapter 1 to now, he's a totally different person.
He's a man.
Right?
It feels like, it's like,
yeah, and he still has work to do. He still, has, like, he was also talking about himself when he was talking to Samura, like, I'll show you how you can live. Like it's not too late. You don't have to do this by yourself. He's talking to himself, right? Like, he's saying that he thinks he's going to hell for all the people that he's killed. He doesn't see himself as a good person, but clearly from his actions, we know that's just not true, right?
yeah, I think that's him being like his biggest critic kind of thing, where you're the hardest on yourself, and he knows like taking a life, it's not right, but the trials and adversity he went through, he's made the resolve to where he can accept the fact that he's not doing maybe the most moral like decision or whatever. But on this journey, he's like with Iori, like I'm a big proprietor of his dynamic with Iori. Like Iori being a possibility of a life that he could have chose. Erase the memories. You know what I mean? If he went to the Kabunabi and like told them who he was and all that, it's very well possible he could have had a life like Iori. They wipe his memory, they set him in a family, and then that's his life.
I feel like you would have got it worse, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like people would have been on top of him nonstop. Like, I feel like, yeah, Samura being a war hero, that's one thing, but like the creator of the blades, this is his kid. I don't know.
Put him in a cell next to put him in a pit. Throw him out of Soga.
Throw him in the pit.
Nah, that's a poor 15-year-old Chihiro, just like the fuck.
Oh god.
But no, I do like the fact like him looking at Iori and seeing like her struggles, and now that she got her memories back, or like working towards finding out who her dad is, he's like, I wouldn't trade my memories for nothing. Like, I don't want that life. I lived those days with my father, 15 years every day, just me and him. You know what I mean? And like, I think that, like, cause I got a kid, so Iori's part was like, it really resonated for me. Just seeing like the sacrifices of a parent, even if they're wrong, it's like they're thinking for the best of their child. But sometimes you're blinded to like the child's trauma and how heavy it influences the child. So it's like that part was really big on me, and I think like Chihiro still shined through, even though he didn't have the most like direct writing, focus from Hokuzono. It was like flushing out Samura, which was really well done, and Iori. I really like Chihiro through there. I'm sorry I'm yapping, but
no, you're good.
Dice. I don't know Dice. How do you look at Chihiro from like chapter 1 to like now? You know, Daffy brought up a good question.
Yeah.
It's a tough question. It is a nebulous kind of.
I can keep it sweet and short. Honestly, I'm not as big on his development as Daffy is, but I have enjoyed it a lot. I'm kind of holding out hope that the best is yet to come, and I think it's gonna have to do a lot with him coming to terms with what Soga did, and hopefully he doesn't know that that's his uncle, and I'm really kind of looking forward to that, because I expect that to be what gives us or opens the door for the biggest or the best part of Chihiro's development. And not to say that there hasn't been any, because we, like Daffy perfectly said against Samura, we saw that, and in a way it was kind of like very clear, very obvious. Not in a way, it was just flat out very obvious, right? But I just think the best is yet to come. I want to see more adversity, more characters like Sojo, more characters like Hirohiko, or, you know, when Hirohiko comes back, Yura now. I just want more adversity and him having to do more to kind of go over that hurdle. But that's just, you know, my personal take on it.
Like, Chihiro's not a blank canvas, but he's still an unfinished canvas that has a lot of potential.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a very, like, a solid way to look at him. But I guess we could close this chapter out, really. You know, it ends with the clash. I just want to get you guys quick thoughts on where you think we go from here. It doesn't have to be an exact, you know, next chapter prediction or anything, just whatever you think.
I want Chihiro and Yuta to scrap hand to hand with no enchanted blades. That's what I want to see.
Oh, I would love to see Chihiro fist fight, bro. Yo, when Hokuzono dropped that art of them in like winter clothes, Hiyuki Hakuri and Chihiro sitting down.
Yes. Yeah.
Or they're standing up and he's sitting down. I was like, yo, I kind of want to see Chihiro get into a sword fight while snowboarding.
yeah, SXX, yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't that be gangster, bro?
I would actually love to see, maybe this is because, like, you know, I watched so much Arrow back in the day, but like, I would love to see an arc of like Chihiro, like, or not arc, or fight of Chihiro stripped of his enchanted blade, and like, I don't know if it would happen, but like, he's like caught unawares, he's captured, and he has to like fight hand to hand. And so, you know, obviously Shiba did train him how to fight. He taught him some self-defense stuff. His sword play does primarily himself, is self-taught, but obviously Shiba taught him how to defend himself. So I would actually like to see if Chihiro has hands or not. I think it should be really cool, in my opinion.
Imagine him doing the same thing Yura did with the Magatsumi in terms of using its abilities without the sword.
Fist. Just double handing it.
Actually, that actually fire. That
double twist fish. Ooh.
Well, actually, he kind of already did with whatchamacallit, the fish, when he was in the Rakuzaichi. He was actually seeing through it. Yeah.
I want to see him punch somebody with a fish on his fist.
Oh my god.
I want to see him turn into a mermaid. Let's go.
Mermaid Chihiro, Jesus Christ.
True Realm is just him as absorbing like whole people in Pokemon.
Bro, Aka's True Realm, he just summons Laboon, the whale, and just crushes niggas.
All right, brother, you gotta chill on the One Piece references. You going crazy.
I'm not. I'm not going to. What you want? What you want? Giganto? Huh? Like a fat ass whale.
Oh man.
But no, I'm curious to see how long this fight's gonna go, because I think something else we talked about off camera was that we felt that some of the fights have felt a little shorter than we'd like. Chihiro gets the majority of the shine. He's a main character, duh. But some of these other fights, I like to see it drawn out a little bit more, right? Azami, people were thrilled to see Azami's fight, but damn, you have him off screen. Damn, man, like, I don't know if I necessarily love that decision. Like, I get there's a lot going on in the raid, but damn, man, like, I wanted to see his arm get ripped off.
We said like 6 to 8 chapter fight would do Kagurabachi good, in my opinion.
Yes.
You know, just a straight choreography, because Hokuzono's got the sauce. He's got everything we need. He has all the tangible, like, abilities that he needs or attributes as a creator to deliver a monster fight 6 to 8 chapters long. and we just want to see it. And I think that just comes from like fans, you know, more so than like we accept whatever the story gives us. That's one thing I will say, like, is fair about us. Like, we're big Euro fans, but if Euro dies here and it's for the best of the story, we're down. You know, it's just, I don't know, Dice, where you see it going next?
Man, let's hope this is the fight. I thought it was going to be the Samura one. It wasn't. Let's hope this is the fight that goes over 5 chapters,
Samura was about
whatever
2,
it
3
is.
chapters, wasn't it? I think
Yeah,
it was
man.
3 to
Way
4.
Kyoto
too-
Sazanami, I think, is the longest fight.
I wanna think.
Yes.
Yeah,
Chihiro fights him by himself, then Yuki joins for like 2-3 chapters. That's
By
like a
far.
6-chapter fight, really, thinking about
Yeah.
it. But it's a
I'm
lot
hoping-
going on there.
I'm just hoping Hokazono's been edging us, you know, with that
Ooh.
Samura fight, and then to give us this fight. Hopefully, like you said, 6 to 8 chapters would do wonders.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, y'all got any closing statements? You know, we will have Daffy's information in the description below, of course, and we'll
For sure.
we'll link you as like a collaborator, you know, as they have now. But
Please do.
if you want
please
to tell
do.
the people what you working on now.
As far as what I'm working on now, I have part 1 of my Wano review that should be
Bro, get
out
the
next
fuck.
week.
All right, wait. Episode.
I know, don't be dead ass. Don't be serious. Don't be dead ass. No,
I
don't
see
dead
you
ass.
cooking. I saw the thumbnail. The thumbnail's
I
gas.
got that. I got that cooking. I'm gonna do a video on Yuta. I'm doing a why this character matters more than you realize series. I'm gonna do one on Yuta here pretty soon as well.
Nice.
I might do one on Megumi actually.
You
Before
do one
that.
on
Oh.
me.
I got why Tiberius matters more than you think. I could.
Yeah.
I could. My favorite
That video-
Cajun. I like that.
43 views.
It'll be the best 43 views of your life, man. Listen.
That's it.
But yeah, I just you know I got some stuff in the works. But yeah, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Of
man,
course.
for sure. We definitely plan
Thank
to do
you.
like more things. Like we just started using this new like software to record, and that kind of alleviated a lot of me and Dice's worries when we had guests on, because it wasn't as efficient as we were doing prior.
I go through Discord and
Yeah,
all
we're
that.
doing
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like,
yep,
yeah. What's that bot? Craig bot. Fuck Craig.
Yeah.
How
Y'all
play
beefing
security
with
of the
Craig? What
world,
Craig?
Yeah, we beefing with Craig. Trust.
Damn.
Yeah, Dice lives in like Antarctica, so. Yeah,
Oh man. No,
Nah,
but good chapter,
but-
good convo for real.
yeah, for real. We
Yes.
appreciate everybody. Make sure you check out Dice's channel, Daffy's channel. You could check out my channel if you like. And see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.
Sir.